Welcome to Unit 1, New Paradigms and Shifts in Education. I have 3 points that I want to make for you for this week. First of all, our world is constantly changing, and we're going to talk about how it's changing in 2 ways, through demographic shifts and also through changes in the workplace in terms of task demands. Second, we need to prepare all students to be college and career ready, not just some students, but all of our students, and pay particular attention to how our diversity is shifting and changing in our classrooms. And then third, literacy, including digital literacy or new literacies as we're referring to them in our class, is fundamental. So first, here you see a diagram of racial and ethnic enrollments in the U.S. public schools. This is a national set of data, but here you see that Caucasians, the percentages is going down, and then in percentages of Black or African Americans are slightly going down, but Hispanics are improving dramatically, or not improving, but increasing dramatically. This is the data for North Carolina in particular. So here you can see it's almost 130% population growth for our Hispanic groups in North Carolina. One group that we don't talk about as much is our Asian population. The long-term projection over the next 40 to 50 years is that the Asian population, the percentage of immigrant population growth is going to be growing significantly, all the way from 5% in 1965 to 38% in 2065. Here you can see that the percent of low-income students in U.S. public schools has increased. The national average now is 51%, and here with North Carolina, you can see that we're slightly above the national average at 53%. So what does this mean for us as instructors? It means that our classrooms are constantly changing in terms of the composition of the classroom, and so who's coming to school looks very different from the way it looked even 5-10 years ago. A second idea I want you to think about is how the workplace is changing and the actual task that we perform in the workplace is changing. This is a study that was done by Levy and Murnane at Harvard, where they did a task analysis to see what was going on in a variety of professions. And here you see that there is an increase in what we call non-routine interpersonal and non-routine analytic skills, going all the way back to 1960 up until 2009. What that means is when we go to work now, we have to do a lot of problem solving. We don't get to do the same thing that we do over and over and over, but we have to think creatively, and we have to be problem solvers. And we have to think about what that means for us as educators in terms of educating our students in the classroom. 2 specific areas are expert thinking and problem solving and complex communication. I like to think about the expert thinking and problem solving as, what do you do when the experts get stumped? Who do you turn to? Who's able to solve the problems? That person is the really valuable person in the workplace. And then also complex communication. We have a lot of communication streams of information, both print and digital, and we need to constantly know how to navigate those and bring value to the workplace or to the educational setting in terms of understanding the information. Richard Werman talks about a tsunami of data. So it's almost like there's so much information now. Our job as educators is to teach students how to make sense of the information and to know what to do with the information, not just constantly just consume it. In terms of literacy education and literacy professionals, there are a couple of 4 points that I'd like to make. First of all, we continue to have low reading proficiency indicators in North Carolina. 65% of the North Carolina 4th grade students scored below the reading proficiency level in the latest NAEP data. and only 4% of the 8th graders performed at the advanced level. So this is in North Carolina. It's also a national trend. And then secondly, we have increased demand for instructional expertise in terms of literacy, especially as a result of Common Core. The expectations have been raised in terms of what literacy teachers need to know how to do. More recently in North Carolina, we've had the Read to Achieve requirements, and there's a lot of pressure on K-3 so that those students can pass the requirements, the test requirements in grade 3 so that they can be promoted to grade 4. So again, a lot of pressure on our reading teachers and our elementary teachers. And then fourth, there are decreased graduate education incentives. As you know, when you come to graduate school now, you can get a master's degree, but whether we're going to be able to have that bump in pay for the master's program is still in question. We're hoping that politicians will do the right thing and make that happen. In addition to print, the literate person today needs to know how to learn about technology, with technology, and through technology. And that's what we're going to explore in our class this semester. I firmly believe that our children are our future, and our future is now. So we're going to explore ways to help you engage those students more in the classroom and make sure that they have the skill sets that they need to be productive citizens as well as productive students and folks going into the workplace. Now you're going to move on and do some more readings for this week, and then in week 2 you will take what you've learned and use one of the tools to display some key points that you've learned in Unit 1.